Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. I'm coming to you today with a homeschool video. I have not done a homeschool video. We're right smack dab in the middle of summer. So guess what I'm doing? I'm preparing and getting ready for curriculum for our next upcoming school year, 2018-2019. And I want to talk to you today about how in the world do you pick your kids' curriculum. I have 5 kids. My oldest has graduated, so I will officially be homeschooling 3 this coming fall, with a 3-year-old intact, and you can probably hear him in the background playing with the puppy. So how do you pick curriculum? How do you know what works? And you have all these hundreds and thousands of questions, especially if you're a new homeschooler. I started homeschooling my oldest as he was going into his 4th grade, and his sister as she was going into the 2nd grade. So my kids have been in public school, and I have one that has never been in school, and he's going into the 4th grade. I should say not never in school, but never in a public or private school, only homeschooled. But so back to the question of how do you pick your curriculum? How have I picked my curriculum? What do you do? You know what, I've done a lot of research, and that's probably how a lot of you have landed here to this video today. It's just simply how do you type it in, Googling how do you find a curriculum that works for you. And that's what I've done, y'all. Over the years, I will recommend a book. It's called 102 Top Picks for Homeschool Curriculum. It's by Kathy Duffy. I think when I read the book, it was only 100, so she's bumped it up by 2. But she had some really unique things in the book, and like my 2nd year of homeschooling, I really wanted to change the curriculum that we were using because I wasn't happy with what we had. So I found this book and I just dug into it, and I think I read it from cover to cover. And one of the things that I like about the way Kathy has written the book, and I was going to bring it so I could show it to you, but I think I've loaned it to somebody. I've loaned it to several people over the years. I'm trying to help other moms who are deciding to take this journey of the homeschool route and to figure out what is going to work for my child. And you're going to be at different stages of life. There's going to be things that come up. This year, my daughter, we're going to be doing, my oldest daughter, she's going to be a junior this fall, so we're looking into doing some dual enrollment for her. So there's going to be a little bit of changing in how we do our curriculum with her this year. But I've Googled. Google has become my best friend over the years. Like, I find a new curriculum, I want to know about it. I Google reviews, I come here to YouTube, hit review blah 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 curriculum or whatever. So I'm not here today to promote any curriculum or any brand or any name. I'm just here to say to you today, just as an encouragement to you, as you're journeying on this journey. It is a journey, y'all. And one thing that I would recommend is not, just for me personally, is I have never bought an open and shut curriculum except for the very first year that we homeschooled. I mean, what I did use at that point in time, it got us through the year, but we hated it. I thought, what am I doing? Why are we doing this? It just wasn't a fit for us. But the reason that I brought up Kathy Duffy is because in her book, she breaks down the different types of homeschooling there is, the different methods. But I also like it because she breaks down kids, she calls them like a Wiggly Willy, or I can't remember. She has them categorized into 4 different categories as to your child, because you know what? I have 5 kids, and all 5 of them have different personalities and different learning styles. So you can get so caught up in that, y'all, that like with me, like, okay, I have 5 different kids that have to do 5 different curriculums. Or, at one time I had 4 kids all homeschooling at the same time. I'm like, how am I going to do this? And, so you can get overwhelmed with trying to fit everybody's style. And sometimes you just have to do what works for your family and what's going to work for your children. And, you can't always expect, and I think every curriculum that I have ever read has never said, you must follow this curriculum to a T in order for your child to get the education that they need. Every homeschool curriculum that I've ever read or read on their websites are about, this is a guide for you to use for your homeschool to see what's going to work best for you and your children. So remember that as you're choosing curriculum, that use it as a guide. Every day is a learning environment. We learn something new every day, even though we're not, quote, in school for the summer. We use every day to learn something. I can make going to the grocery store into a fun math problem for my 4th grader, and he doesn't even realize we're doing school, quote unquote. So, every day is a learning adventure is what I like to look at it. But when you're choosing your curriculum, don't overthink it. And one thing that I suggest is not to always buy brand new, because you may read this curriculum and read all these wonderful reviews, and I've done this before, and then I get it home and I start looking at it for my family and I'm like, oh my word, this is not gonna work for us. My children are not gonna do this or that, or it was just very overwhelming. There was a lot of, like, I've used some curriculum before and it just, oh, it was so exciting and it seemed like it was just gonna be so much fun. Then I get it and there's all these parts and pieces that have to go with it to make it work, and I'm like, what am I doing? I need easy. I have 5 kids. Why did I do this? So, you know, think about you, think about your family, think about your environment that you're going to be schooling in. Do you have a lot of room to spread out? And, you know, you have to do what works for you. And, you know, I have other moms that are thinking about homeschooling in my area, and they'll call me up and I'm like, okay, what do you do? How do you do it? And I'm just like, you know, slow down. Think about it. Don't jump in first, you know, feet first with everything. That's just one thing that I would recommend is, I know there are some curriculums that are out there that you can spend up to close to $2,000 if you buy everything brand new from the websites and you get every piece of material that they recommend. And if that works for you, great. But I suggest maybe looking into it, looking on some sites, looking for some used materials. And if you have a homeschool convention that's local to you, those things can be wonderful, but they can also be like, what in the world? Because you can be so overwhelmed because every booth, the curriculum looks great. Every booth, this one looks better than that one. You can just become so like, oh. But it is a good time to be able to go pick up those books, flip through them, look at it. Think about your kids. Are they going to do good in books? Do you need to be gearing your older kids toward their high school years, so maybe doing some online courses if they're going to college to be able to prepare them for what college is going to be like. So my suggestion is do your homework, put a little time into it, do your research. Google is wonderful. YouTube is a great tool for how in the world do you find that curriculum. And you can get caught up in that funnel of like that black hole, that never-ending curriculum hole of video after video, review after review, you know, but get yourself some ideas of, you know, how do you think your school environment should look at home. My friends their schools don't look like me, and I don't look like them. Everybody's different, and you know, we all homeschool our kids different. Some of us are involved with extracurricular co-op type things, and so, you know, you have to look at what's offered in your area, and what that's going to look like for your family. Don't be afraid to try new things. And I've said this before, I have absolutely closed a book in the middle of the school year and said, we're done with this. I'm putting it on eBay, I'm putting it on whatever, and we're going to sell it, and we're going to get something new, we're going to start over, because it just was not a fit for us. So if it's not a fit for you, don't try to make it fit, because you're going to be miserable, your children are going to be miserable, and there's no win in that, because the sky is the limit, y'all. I mean, even in just the 9 years that I've been homeschooling, I have seen so much more curriculum that's made readily available. There's online resources now, and they're dirt cheap, and the things that you're getting aren't cheap. I mean, it's a well thought out, well sought out curriculum. So, you know, do your homework, do your research. I've done I've shared some videos before here on my channel about some different curriculums that I've used for my high schoolers, for my elementary school, and I'm still in the process working toward getting our school curriculum for this year ready before it's too late. This is June, the middle of June for us. So, but I'm still working on the dual enrollment and what that's going to look like for my daughter before I actually pin down what she's going to be doing for her junior and senior year. So, you know, look at your family, look at your finances. You can homeschool for free. You really can. The resources are on the internet. If you have access to good wireless Wi-Fi all the time, there's a lot of resources out there now. You can use so many things. YouTube is a great asset. There's a lot of there's some channels on here that have just been created just for homeschoolers, and they do a great job. So do your research, dig a little, spend some time in it. You're working on your child's education, so the time that you can spend investing into preparing for their future is going to be so worth it. So just want to encourage you, don't get overwhelmed. Don't think your school has to look just like Sally Sue's or Betty's or whatever. You have to do what works for you. and what's going to work for your children. So thanks for tuning in, and if you have any questions or comments, comment below and I'll be glad to try to answer them. And if you'd like to see more homeschool videos, be sure to hit subscribe. I do some other things here on my channel, but I have a heart for other homeschool families as well, and I will be doing a video upcoming, and we'll be announcing what curriculum that we have decided to use for this school year. So do your homework, don't get overwhelmed, and do what works for you and not what everybody else is doing. So thanks for watching today, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.